Hello everyone, this is Mark from 3D Origami Dream Bank, and I'd like to show you the nano, the infinity gauntlet. It's kind of like a scale mail King Arthur version, and it's my own just my own design. I made some extra attachments to it. Now, all this is glued on, and some of the things that were hanging me up on making the gauntlet was the infinity stones. And I thought about it for a while, and I just didn't, I thought about buying some plastic stones or glass ones. I was even looking at some fish tank type stones, and I was looking at some stones that were online for sale, but it didn't fit the image that I was seeing in my thoughts. And so I ended up making my own stones, and I want to explain that process to you because the material I use this polymorph, and the polymorph, you just heat it up. You heat it up with some hot water, and these air infused beads, they melt, and you can make an object or a ball, let's say. And if you wanted to, I melted this up before, and it's a big chunk of it, and it's like a solid block of neoprene. And if I wanted to reshape this, I can just melt it again with some hot water. It may take a little bit longer, but I can reshape this. And what I did was I made little stones. I just molded it with my fingers, and then I put some grooves in it with like a chopstick. And I also took some of these magnets that I had, and I put it in the bottom of these are the look like marshmallow ones, and these are flat. But I put these longer ones in the stone, and I also put it in the hand. So all of the stones, they come out, and you can see where the magnet is right there. And there's a magnet in here somewhere, like in the middle, and they snap in. All of them come out, and they all have the magnets to go back in. So that's very interesting, I think, and I wanted to do this kind of to show the same energy as putting the stones in the gauntlet. Here's kind of like the framework that I did. Of course, I put a silver in the bottom and a silver in the top one more time to make the edges better. But in order to get this started on the edges, I just went ahead and I just made a long strip, and then I folded it over, and then I put triangles along the strip, and then I just put it in a circle. And then this is the frame that I used, and you can see they're on the hand now. When I was done, I wrapped it with this other origami paper, and then I wrapped it actually several times, over and over again, and then I painted it with this it's like a puzzle glue, and so I painted the top to make it a little more shiny. And then this is all the stuff that I did to make the stones. I thought about it for a while, and I just kept thinking about it, and this is what interests me the most. Some of these cutting dies are it's like an arch style, and this is what's in the fingers here, all along here, and the thumb part. Now, what I did to make the thumb a little bit longer and put it around the stones, I just cut the paper, and I just kind of put it on like fish scales. And here's the reactor. I made the chest piece here, this one, the reactor, and it's just a really quick version of a 3D origami reactor. It didn't take me long to make this at all. I use the, I call them the Woven Series 1 and 2 cutting dies. Here's Woven 1 and 2, and these both make up the paper for the reactor. They look like this, and when you put them together and you stack them together, they make loops, and the loops are around here, these loops. And then here's the other one. If you stack these on top of each other and weave them together, then you'll get a pattern will start to emerge, and then you can put another one over here, and then you just keep going around in a circle. So that's kind of like a bonus piece, let's say. Now these cones are just regular cones, just 132, and there's some 164 in here. And these cones look just like this big, right here. Regular style paper. Some of the other ones for some of the decorations on top of the hand are the smaller 128s. Now this cutting die is for 128s because if you were to try to cut this out with some scissors, I mean you can, but they're not going to be perfect. And so I use this cutting die to cut it out for the 128. The spikes that are on the arm, the spikes come from this cutting die, and you can see that you can cut out 2 in one time. And I just cut out a bunch and started, making my pattern, and I just kept going and thinking about it. This is what the paper looks like. There's a little bit of a shimmer to it, and you put the cutting die on top, and then put it through the machine, and then it'll cut out the paper for you. And this is what one piece looks like. And you can see that there's a hole in the middle, and the hole in the middle is for the wire to pass through. And when you stack the cones together in a straight line, you can actually run wire through. And by doing so, this is kind of an experimental finger when I wanted to, see how the colors were going together. Of course, I changed them a little bit when I made the gauntlet, but this is just an experiment. And you can see that there's a gold wire here, and the wire starts in the bottom, and then it goes all the way through. And then what I wanted to do was be able to bend it, and I wanted it to stay. And so I progressed this far, and I also have all of the wire in the fingers, also in the thumb, right here. And what this does is lets me, make some different positions with the fingers. And I wanted to, create the snap. So here's the snap. Different people kind of snap their fingers a little bit differently, but this is the snap. So here's the snap, and here's the finished piece for the Nano Infinity Gauntlet. My name is Mark, and this is 3D Origami Dream Bank. Please like my channel, share, subscribe, ring my bell, and have a good day. Thanks for watching.